Hello, welcome again to another scene in New York by Night Rage Across. The scene begins rather simply with one Leah Krikos trying to find one Alan Stewart. Alan Stewart, for his part, has been busying himself over at the internet cafe, taking gratuitous use of their free Wi-Fi, as well as filling up their own cash registers with large stocks of Vente coffee within his own hand, and large stacks of dollar bills in their hands. And we begin the scene just simply as thus, with Lee pretty much just walking into the cyber cafe that most of the glasswalker can actually frequent. She seems to have a little bit of a hurried or worried expression on her face, seemingly because of one of the Mendable More pack members told him. Her, I should say.
She is a her.
She is definitely a her. Make no ends or buts about it.
Okay, well, glad you're very sure about that.
I would hope so.
Right, so she's going in. This is exciting. I'm
Well, they
assuming
certainly try to make it as exciting as possible. It is a glasswalker place. There's probably a bunch of neon lights like everywhere.
be blinded as I walk in. She does actually look a little worried, but at the same time, she kind of thinks she knows what's happening, but Antonio's such a bug. You can only do so much before he just kind of apparently makes you do things. So, yeah, so she's gonna head up there, get a cup of coffee with a lot of sugar and cream, which is not at all like what Alan would drink. And I'm guessing he's pretty obvious, right? Over on a computer.
Oh yeah, he's pretty obvious. He's not really trying to hide anything at the moment.
Blend in with the glasswalkers.
Kind of hard with the pink hair.
It's lavender, thank you.
Purple, lavender, violet, whatever, my good ma'am.
She'll head over there.
Hey. You see that Alan is currently typing at his little laptop, actually.
Just sit down next to him. Those things that usually tends to be like a lot of like tables at the right height to have your computer on, so it's sitting across is kind of silly with the computer between you.
Mm-hmm.
She, however, did not bring a laptop. She just has her phone, which there's no point in getting out right this minute. So she's gonna sit down next to him, and it probably the chair. Obviously, they're just kind of nudge him, just kind of with their shoulder, just like, "Hey,
what's up?" He says as he's continuing to type at the laptop. Seems like he's making an email message to send out to somebody.
Not looking. It's not my business.
Hmm?
But if he were to turn it and she'd been fine, but she's not going to sit there and like look. That just seems kind of intrusive. The whole looking over the shoulder thing. It's just no. So she'll actually kind of turn to face him, but so she's not actually looking at his computer.
Mm-hmm.
Take a drink of her coffee and just relax for a second. Let him finish his email. Been a while since I've been here. You're not going to steal my phone, are you?
I have no reason to at the moment, unless you want it to be stolen, because I can totally do that as well.
No need. Not even using it. She kind of touches her pocket where it's in. So can I ask you something really awkward and weird?
That in itself is a really awkward and weird question, but go ahead.
Well, we've been through enough that, the amount of awkward and weird in that question isn't as awkward and weird as the one coming up.
Fair enough.
Antonio seems really worried about you.
Yeah? What is he worried about exactly about me?
And for some reason, he came to me about it because he said you were acting weird.
Antonio is Argentine. He believes that sometimes a hot soft pan is the best way to get the most information. He's very much all about that love connection.
Well, I don't deny I came over because of him. I wasn't going to bother you about it, but that doesn't mean I fully intended to tell him everything that you said. So my hands are soft? She kind of looks down at him.
It's softer than a man who's Actually, Alan just stops for a second. Softer than a man that dies in garbage, I would assume.
I don't know. You never know. What if what's in the garbage is like a half-empty bottle of lotion? But that is a special circumstance. It's not like normal.
Yeah, that's true. I'm wondering the kind of person that throws away half a tub of hand softener like that. Maybe they were just done. Maybe they found a girlfriend. Maybe.
Wait, are you telling me that guys actually use stuff like that, like until they get a girlfriend, then they stop?
It's kind of an it's a usually those kind of things get thrown away so that the girlfriend never knows that you used them.
What a waste.
Usually that's a sign of a more committed relationship. Otherwise, they just tend to hide it.
I might be getting to understand the psyche of a man more than I realized. It's still a big waste. Every time your hands are dry, you have to buy a new thing of lotion. That's just ridiculous. You don't have to get a girly lotion. You can just get one of the ones that just does the job.
Well, that's the thing. When you go up to the counter, you gotta make it seem like you're buying this not for yourself, or if you are, you just like manly hand lotion, so you can't buy like huge tubs of it. It's just weird and awkward. Usually, you get a small little bottle in between like some beer, some batteries, some crackers, just so it doesn't seem that obvious what you're doing.
Here, I thought women were the sensitive ones. All you have to do is worry about, whether we should be embarrassed buying tampons. Which, by the way, most of us have decided that we don't care.
Well, that's a healthy attitude to have and something you can't really change.
Yeah, pretty much. No, he was saying you were sleeping outside, and apparently he didn't say worried, but I got the idea of worried.
No, it's true. I have taken to sleeping outside, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Not per se. It's a change in your behavior, though.
No, what's really strange is when half the pack decides, oh, hey, let's all sleep outside on top of Alan. That's interesting.
Maybe they were just trying to be supportive of your lifestyle change.
then my pack is as supportive as they are heavy. No, I really wouldn't change them for anything. They did help a little bit, but I think I'm just like over it, maybe.
Over it. Over them being on top of you?
I think I'm over whatever it was.
I think I can guess what it was if that's what we're talking about now.
Yeah. Last night I kind of just got tired of it and tried sleeping in my own bed. It worked.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If I was entirely over it, I would have slept underneath my bed, but not quite yet.
Why would you sleep under a bed?
Because that's where the floor is, honey.
You were so weird.
I know.
I mean, you seem to have gotten over it, like, most of the time. And then just once in a while, you just bring it up, and I think you're joking, and then, like, suddenly you're bringing it up, and it's not a joke, and I'm just like, ugh.
What, the sleeping on the floor thing?
Yeah.
There aren't any really big cons to sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, there are. It's not soft and comfy. I mean, there are times that it's fine. I don't care. Like when we were camping or whatever, that's cool. But I mean, you have the choice between the two. Yeah, it's an obvious choice.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, sleeping on the ground does make your back strong, or it breaks it.
Yeah, it kind of your back can kind of hurt in the morning.
Goes ahead and stops for a second his typing. Ow. I'm done with that for the day. Goes ahead and turns around to look to you. So, you really this worried about it?
Well, I noticed it a few days ago. Only it was a different thing. I just want to make sure you're gonna be okay. That's all. I mean, I get what happened. It makes sense, and it's cool. But you're acting a little weird.
Sorry, I brought you a level of concern. I didn't mean to.
I know. It's my job, I think, right?
Worrying about me?
Yeah, you do it. You worry about me, right?
Most of the time, yes.
Okay, so why is it that I'm not supposed to worry about you?
Oh, I never said that you weren't supposed to worry about me. Simply apologizing that you got worried over nothing, or at least
It's
not
not
as
nothing.
much.
It's not nothing. Let me put it to you this way. It's one thing for me to notice a few things here and there, but then to have one of your packmates notice, and then they're coming to me. It just kind of adds a whole new layer to the thing.
I told Antonio why I was doing that.
Yeah, well, maybe he asked later than he talked to me. I don't know.
It is possible.
Honestly, I don't even have his number. I don't think so. It's not like I could even call him to tell him anything.
You think that guy has a phone?
He might. Who knows? Hey, you have a phone. Your phone is kind of sad, and you have a phone.
What? Hey, are you making fun of my phone now? He says, getting out his Nokia brick.
She kind of puts it, pokes it, like, yep. It went well with your shoes from the other day.
I like my shoes. Why'd you make me get new ones?
Don't even start on me. You know why. You were not raised in lupus, okay?
Like, I was raised a hippie.
Congratulations.
Look, just because, like, your toe is, like, showing outside of your shoe, a little bit of piece of rubber, just because, there's a hole in your sock, it builds character. Your feet have character.
And rough skin.
And chipped toenails.
I think you just made my point. You should make your feet prettier for me.
I should make my feet pretty. Are you telling me that I need to go get a manicure or a panicure or a pedicure or a manicure or whatever it is?
Pedicure. And
Pedicure.
no, that's absolutely not necessary, but a little bit of cream, maybe not lotion, but some of the foot stuff, might as well.
Are you saying I should go dive in some dumpsters to find some lotion to put on my feet?
No. I think that might be kind of the tainted version of the lotion after it's been sitting there a bit. All the garbage juice getting involved with it.
I imagine mayonnaise. Really, really rancid mayonnaise.
Oh. Do you want to go diving in some dumpsters to find that?
'Tis not my deed name.
No, but I have heard there is someone who does have that name.
Yep, one of the gibbous moons.
He's one of the dead rabbits.
Yep.
What? I know stuff. Has to do with, Callie. Therefore, I kind of picked up a few things here and there.
Always good to know. Always good to know.
So no, if you're gonna go for some sort of lotion or cream, I'm going to suggest new.
I think that Andy has a death wish.
I think you have a death wish if you think you can walk around with shoes with holes in them.
Well, at least it's not taunting the lupus.
Taunting the lupus? What does that have to do with anything?
Yesterday there was some really, really high tensions between the Galliards and some of the Worm Raiders pack. Katori and Smiles, actually. They were on edge. Like, really on edge. Like, badly on edge.
Well, their pack has kind of been through a lot lately.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. It's just... it's getting much worse. It has not gotten better.
Okay, so what does that have to do with diving in dumpsters and taunting them?
Andy went ahead and was taunting Smiles, I believe, and Smiles reacted very badly to that.
What are they gonna do?
Probably rip each other apart.
I don't mean that. I meant Worm Raiders.
Oh, them?
Yeah.
That pack may be on its last legs. They may need to either restructure or dissolve.
So it's not decided yet.
Katori is going to go ahead and talk to their totem spirit about what should be done.
Well, probably the best source, really.
Other than that, tap, tap. all the cockroaches in the entire sept are going actually batshit crazy.
Why?
I don't know. It kind of happened after Dragos and Emmett decided they wanted to go subway surfing. So I assume it has something to do with them and the want to find some mole people.
Why do things not make sense anymore?
Did they ever?
I just don't get what subway surfing, cockroaches, and mole people have to do with anything. Like, or with each other, for that matter.
Mm. All I can say is the last time Dragos actually did anything that really concerned me or worried me was when he petitioned the Weaver spirits, and that petition went badly. Now that I see the cockroaches kind of in the tizzy, I am concerned it may have something to do with what he did. I am not sure yet.
You know what's funny? I've
Mhm.
never met this Dragos, but I've heard so much about him. Bettina was cursing him the entire time we were defending the sept.
Really now.
Yeah. She kept saying something about how something was messed up. And I don't know, something in the defense, and it just wasn't, she wasn't happy at all with it. And maybe I shouldn't have brought Bettina up, sorry. But
Mm. What is happening with Patina at the moment has nothing to do with me. I have learned to let that go its course. It's nothing I can really do.
I know, that's not what I meant at all. I think it's sort of sad, really. She genuinely cared about the sept.
Spiritual contracts, they ascend even our thinking and our justice.
Remind me not to have one of those kind of weddings or marriages or whatever.
Mm,
Way too much commitment right there. Way too much commitment.
I am no philodox, nor do I. Well, sometimes I speak like a philodox. Sometimes I want the authority of a philodox, but I am no philodox.
I know. Besides, I wasn't proposing. Maybe I'll marry somebody else.
It is. If I ever really, really decided to get that committed, probably just have a very, very short service and sermon and bitch ass party afterwards. Don't think I would make an entire contract with the spirit, though.
I like your idea. Just have the ceremony itself be kind of more private, and then have the big party. I do not need a big Greek wedding, whether I am Greek or not.
Well, too bad. You're gonna be, in a Greek wedding very, very soon. Hopefully, anyways.
Maybe they'll break up, as she kind of lowers her voice. Maybe I don't have to do it.
What they won't. And aren't you the bride and then the maid of honor?
But you don't understand. The things they do make her hair big and poofy and all that extra makeup and crap, they're going to do it to me too. You don't understand. It's
No, I probably don't. But it's hilarious, anyways.
going to be awful. I mean, I'll be okay if the only thing is, obviously I'll probably sit there watch Callie and just burst into tears or something retarded. But honestly, she hasn't been mine, if you know what I mean, since she was 16. So I was 15. So it's just kind of the last straw, I guess. Like, she'll never be just my sister again. Unless they get divorced, and then, hey, that's all good. We'll just start over again.
Are you worried that Callie's attention is going to get so divided to her new husband she won't have any time for you anymore?
Well, let's put it this way. Since she's moved in with him, I've seen her about 3 times. Before that, I saw her every few days. So it's not really a worry, it's more a simple fact.
Fair enough.
She's gotten more and more and more attached to all of the gardening she's doing. And I can never find her when I look for her.
How do you feel about that, then?
Are you going to pull your shrink stuff on me?
I'd rather want to know what bothers you.
I'll answer you, even though I know your tricks. Oh, I miss seeing her. Of course I do. But, life changes, life goes on.
Obla deep, obla da, life goes on.
Apparently. Except I normally don't say obladi, oblada, because it's not a real word.
Oh, you should. They're fun words, even if they aren't real. Obladi, oblada, life goes on, brah. Da 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 da, life goes on.
Right. I'm just saying, I mean, who would have expected that she'd, like, want to get married when she's 19? After 4 days.
The age thing isn't really a surprise to me. It's more the very, very, very short courtship. I've seen a few of my friends go ahead and get hitched before they hit 20.
So you're not against the whole idea as a concept?
Not against the whole idea as a concept, simply because, well, young love is young love, and what's more often than not how we perpetuate the nation.
True enough.
The nation is not full of late bloomers.
I know. I'm like the only one. Everyone thinks I'm the slow learner.
Lol.
It's true. Xavier. He's been trying to talk me into being okay with Callie's thing the whole time.
It's interesting enough that Xavier goes ahead and chooses to walk his own path in life, while convincing you that what Callie's doing right now, tying herself with another man, is totally alright.
Well, he's already chosen that as well. Just a bit. Just a, he lasted, a week or two longer. So I'm not going to taunt him quite as bad. He took like 2 weeks to get to know his fiance.
Fiance now.
You didn't know that?
I had my suspicions, but I didn't know it was fiance level.
Oh yeah, she proposed to him. He's got an engagement ring.
I will have to taunt him about this relentlessly now.
Yeah, it wasn't at all traditional from what I can hear. He told me about it. And he seems really happy. He said that he's used to things in his family being like pretty much it's all arranged, so you don't even get to know the person before you marry them. So he considers it to be a bonus that he got to know her and got to choose her.
Stupid, young puppy love.
She is pretty. So
I knew that she was pretty. How did I know that she was pretty?
because you've met her.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bacasa equals beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Not always smart, but beautiful.
Your words, not mine.
I know. Oh, for that matter, even Emmett. Like, seriously.
Oh, please do not tell me that there is another niece walking around here. Not another Bacas. He's got another one.
Leah doesn't say anything, but the look on her face is just kind of like trying not really hard not to laugh at this point. Not a niece.
Oh. I'll have to claim ignorance. I don't know Bacas family structure as much as I would want to.
Well, tell me the ones you do know.
Val has his father, and he has his niece,
Cousin.
cousin, excuse me,
And a sister.
and a sister. Wow, I didn't know that.
She's 13. It's not. Yeah, she's away right now.
She's away right now. I think those are the only ones I know.
Okay, so which of those is not spoken for?
Are you saying that the relationship between Val and Callie is actually on the rocks? I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
No, they're fine. Keep going.
So you're saying the puppy love isn't going to last much longer than a season?
You are just really pushing this. To go to the only person who is not connected to somebody else that you know of yet.
It's not the father, because I think the father's already connected to somebody.
No. Yeah, well, Nico is now to Emmett.
Blink, blink, blink.
I was there when Vale figured it out. Actually, when Senna figured it out. And then Vale figured out right that instant, too. And he freaked out. It was pretty amazing.
I'm going to go ahead and store this information away and relentlessly torture Emmett with it some other time.
You might give it a few days or a week. I don't think he's worried about it. It's just more that Vale's still getting used to things. Because, yeah. You know how it all came out?
Mm-hmm.
Vale thought his dad was seeing someone, but his dad hadn't quite gotten around to wasn't telling him about it yet. He was just acting differently, and you can see that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Evidently, Kelly smelled who it was and knew that scent on the laundry. So then Kelly mentioned this in front of Cinna, and I think then kind of looked at it. Said something about smelling something on laundry, and then looked at Emmett. And then later on, when we were at dinner, Vale said something about how Kelly knew who it was but wouldn't tell him, and that she'd smelled on the laundry, and that's when Senna put two and two together. And Emmett's pretty much confirmed it to me now. It was just really, really weird. All of it. All of it. This is why you hang out with me, right? For the gossip?
Apparently, I did not realize that I'd have such a fount of gossip about the cause at the moment.
What? I'm freaking gonna be like related to these people.
Are you gonna be like that nosy step relation that sort of gets in everybody's business?
I wasn't trying to be in anyone's business. I just happened to be there when stuff happened. What? You just. It's like being related to the. I don't know. I don't know. They're just like the. It just seems like they're trying to take over the world or something, or at least the Garu Nation.
Hmm. Let him do it.
Hmm.
Let him do it. If it doesn't hurt anybody.
It's not hurting anyone.
Fair enough.
What? Why was I gonna? What did you think I was gonna do? Jump in there and say no? Quit it! Nobody's gonna listen to me.
I'm just I have no idea how two of my cubs went ahead and got themselves entangled in the Bacchus family.
They're not your cubs anymore. They're all grown up.
Yeah, that's true, but I still remember the first time I beat Xavier over the head with my stick.
Only you would think of beating someone as this like fond memory.
Memories, all alone in the moonlight.
It's not moonlight yet.
Yeah, it will be in a couple of hours.
I think we're like 3 or 4. 3. 3. At least here. In the time zone that, New York City is.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
And you're not lying to me when you tell me that you're actually feeling a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of good right now. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I am worried about one or two things, but those are things that I cannot quite change until the next month.
What are you talking about?
Smiles has been acting much more erratically lately, and while I can contribute that much to what he went through over the weekend, I do not wish for this to be the norm if he is to become the den parent.
I just find myself wondering if that's a poor decision in general.
He wanted it. Have it. Was never going to keep the position forever. In fact, I only took the position because there was an influx of cubs.
That's not what I meant. You and I have talked about that and how you feel on that subject, and that's fine. I'm not questioning that. I just question whether it should be him.
He was the one that spoke up, so he is the one that gets to test himself.
I get that, but the thing is, if his thing is that he doesn't think the cubs are learning the wolf part well enough, well, the thing is, they're not just wolves.
No, they are not. They have a dual nature to them, and if oh, when I leave the position, there will be Night Eyes following, or still within the Den Mother position. So it's up to her purview whether or not the new Din father is responsible enough, or whether she would rather do this alone on her own. I may be
She actually gets a choice in that?
somewhat. We are both deemed Din parents together. I, for one, find myself done with all this duty, this responsibility. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Night Eyes can stay where she is. It's fine by me.
Well, I mean, until someone challenges her, and I suppose life moves on, right? We just
Yep.
went on. Yeah. That was your cue to sing again, if you really wanted to.
Not right now.
Okay.
I may be leaving the position, but Night Eyes is still within the position, and it will be up to her to instruct or curb Smiles' instincts. That's her responsibility. If Smiles completes the challenge, not mine.
And if not, then you're still there.
I'm going to wash my hands of the position, walk away. If they request that I return, I will return. But until such time as they request my abilities again, not my problem.
Well, you seem in a better mood about that anyway than you were the other day. No cubs for you.
Well, I have to say, the most disappointing thing, actually, in my tenure as the Din Father, was I had none of my own tribe to mentor. There's always somebody else's children, I should say. None of my own. That's what I would really miss about this.
Well, there aren't really many of them around at all, so plenty of kin, from what I understand. But since you seem to adopt them all,
Oh, adopt them all. Oh, am I really doing that?
yeah, you're really questioning me on that, really? Mm-hmm.
From your perspective.
My perspective is that you are adopting them all.
Fair enough. I actually needed to ask you a few questions about that whole type thing. If I understand it correctly, Valve's trying to organize all the kin, right?
Yeah, he's trying. I'm not sure that all of us necessarily agree that the position he wants to create is necessarily a good one or is even going to be much use. But yeah, he's trying.
All right. Has he made any progress on that?
He paid for dinner for us.
Yeah, he did. Tell me about that dinner then.
I already did. That was the one that thing came out about Emmett.
Blink, 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 blink. I'm not talking about the gossip. Gosh dang it.
I told you about the dinner already. No, it was me and Cinna and Anthony and Vale, pretty much the ones that showed up. At his favorite place that he seems to take everybody. It's like he doesn't know another restaurant.
Yeah, it's a good restaurant.
No, it is. Sure, but you know.
Food's a bit pricey, but yeah, whatever. What did y'all talk about? Because I need to go. To interview a few of the other kinfolk, but I'd like to get some. I would like not to retrace old ground.
No, I think his main point is that he wants there to be a position that's specifically there to, I guess, sort of to take care of kinfolk problems, to guide them. Like for example, if you run into something like Cinna again, where nobody it's basically, where she's only learning stuff kind of on the fly at this point. Someone who could, someone who'd be in charge of, say, teaching her the things she needs to know. So maybe she wouldn't actually make some of the mistakes she's made that gets her, like, beaten up every other day.
Yeah. At some point or another, it is the tribe's responsibility to oversee the education of their kinfolk.
Right, but he's trying to make it, see, that's kind of, that's the way it works right now, is that the tribe should take care of these things. But in the case of Cinna, like, for example, she didn't really know what a black spiral dancer was when she made that phone call. I'm not saying she probably wouldn't have made the call anyways because she's just that crazy, but she doesn't seem to be willing to do it again. Now that she actually understands a bit more. And it's because she doesn't know a lot of things like that. That she keeps stepping into, dog poop, essentially.
From what I can observe about Cinna's character, she is one to step two spaces or 2 paces before looking 1 yard ahead. She jumps. She doesn't look before she leaps.
Mm-hmm.
She complains that she is ignorant about most things, that she needs to be taught these things. However, when you do sit her down and teach her, she often enough seems to wander away, make another mistake, come back, try to teach her. Actually, you know what she needs to know?
Are you asking my opinion, or are you trying to just open up a... I'm not quite sure. Are you just trying to find out what I think she needs to learn?
I'm actually asking a rhetorical question.
Oh, okay, what are we talking about? Okay, well then answer your own question, please, Mr. Rhetoric.
What she needs to know is she needs to know how her tribe relates to all the other tribes. That's one thing she ought to know.
It sounds like something Morningkill ought to be involved with, or I don't know, any of the other Silverfangs, really.
I'd rather have one of my packmates do it, but he's a bit crazy.
I don't have any problem with him. He seems like a decent guy to me.
Snow, decent.
Yeah, he's been nice to me a few times. He's healed me once, and when I was at your meeting thing, he stopped and actually asked for my opinion, which I wasn't expecting at all.
Fair
Sorry,
enough.
you have to understand, when you're a kid, you don't expect anyone to care what you think, even though you have many opinions. That said, I've been rather vocal lately, and I'm not going to stop, so they can piss off.
Fair enough.
Let's just hope the difference between me and Sin is that I know when to stop before someone, like, claws me in the face.
Yeah, that'll probably be a good idea.
Look, I kind of think if I had ended up in the position she was, I think I would be behaving pretty similarly. Like, you want to know stuff, but at the same time, it's a lot easier to just experience it than to listen to all the boring people talk. I can see if I didn't have the years upon years of knowing how to deal with this. You know what I mean? So I get where she's coming from. It's a huge thing. It's like, hey, look, there's this cool thing over here, and you can be with them, and you can hang out with them, but you don't get to do the things they do. And no, I don't mean to sound jealous. That wasn't my point. I'm just saying that's kind of that's the spot she's finding herself in.
Life of the kin.
Hmm?
I remember those few years.
Well, to be fair, I mean, I know there are some guru that wish they weren't, that wish they were just humans. It goes both
Not
ways.
fair enough. I'm not one to question Gaia's decisions about whether I bred through or not. I only know that there were a few years that I was within the nation, and yet did not experience first change. And I have to say the experience before and after were entirely black and white, light and day. It is different, very different.
Well, I questioned. Especially once Callie did, and then I didn't get to follow. That sucked.
In Arizona, I was mostly worried about where I would get more beer money.
I got beer money. That's not an issue. For me, it's just getting a hold of the beer.
Oh, you should go south. Oh, wait, never mind. We're in New York, not Arizona. That changes quite a bit.
Oh, I find if I ask the right people, they don't seem to mind stopping and, helping me out a bit. It's all good. But hell, for that matter, I know where to go to get, but she kind of gets really, whispers, enchanted. I know where to go to get that if I want. So fuck. Not so much where to go as much as who to talk to, but having experienced, I don't feel a need to go through that again right now. It's okay.
Knowing a good dealer is always half the battle.
A good dealer. I don't think that's how they see it, but sure. That's what it's a lot like from this end of it. The only weird thing is that he started asking me uncomfortable questions later.
Who?
The Fae. And she gets really quiet again. The Fae. I cut off the conversation at that point. I wasn't going to go into, obviously, veil things.
That was probably best.
Yeah, it was. I'm not stupid. But sometimes you just, I mean, who hasn't been put in a situation where, that something of that subject comes up, right?
I often enough find it very, very easy not to answer any questions.
No, what you do is you turn it back as a question on the person who's asking you.
And how do you feel about that?
I'll take that as an acknowledgement of what I just said.
At the end of the day, I just feel much more comfortable with people talking about themselves than me talking about myself. Really, there's nothing interesting going on this side of the room.
Your story is as interesting as anybody else's. To me, more so.
Aww.
Oh.
Aww.
Shut up. I'm gonna stop saying nice things to you, really. I am.
You're too sweet to stop doing that.
Bullshit.
Elna's gonna go ahead and grab over to the last remains of her coffee, take a small little sip, set it back down. Yeah, that's like 300 packs of sugar in there, isn't it?
No, probably more like 4 or 5.
Plus the stuff you added.
No, I just put in what I put in. That's all. It was just
I
regular
saw you
coffee.
shaking that entire like little spool of sugar into it.
Fine. Next time I'll use Splenda. Does that make you happier?
Still be too sweet.
Yeah, but it won't be real sugar, and it'll be okay then because it's not sugar.
Better use the real sugar. You have no idea where the artificial stuff gets created.
Well, you complain about one, you complain about the other.
No. Both the Splenda and the regular sugar are still sweet. That is the base of the disgust, the sweetness, not the naturalness or the artificialness.
So, but you're saying you prefer them. You would, if you had to choose, you would prefer the more natural of the sweetnesses.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Well, you found the wrong sweetness over here. I'm clearly fake. As she kind of holds up her hair.
I can make exceptions.
Right. So now I have an exception.
And how do you feel about
Throw a
that?
creamer. Just like throw a creamer at his head.
Yeah.
And just what? Should see if it broke on your forehead. It would be funny.
We
Drip,
can see.
drip, drip. Roll those fudge dice.
Oh, it leaves a nice little bruise, but it goes ahead and remains intact. Ow.
That was a lot of dice for one little creamer. Should grab a handful of them and just pelt him with them.
I don't want to break anything.
It was one creamer. One. Right. Now you're going to claim domestic abuse.
I don't know what happened, officer, but I don't feel safe in my own home.
You don't live in my home. So, I don't live in yours, so therefore, you can't claim that. And if you do, then it's like Zeke's fault or something.
Actually, Zeke's been pissed off lately.
Well, it's better than what he was, right?
Half dead?
Yeah.
No, here's the thing. I try to communicate with him, and I just get, like, really short answers. And he didn't come back home last night. I'm guessing it has something to do with the cockroaches.
Oh. Well, they did kind of invade your house.
I made sure to keep them on his side of the house. Just like I make sure that Antonio's trash heap is outside of the house. Swear to God, if I have to get my own living space, I will be very, very unsatisfied. Blink, 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 blink.
Yeah, it just doesn't say anything.
It's much easier when it was just Snow and Ziggy.
Who's Ziggy?
You don't know Ziggy?
Did you say Ziggy?
Yeah, Ziggy.
I don't think so. I know Zeke.
No, his name was Siegfried. The Get Fenris.
Oh, I don't think I know him.
He was before your time. He was only in the city for a few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, it was before I met you, I think. Definitely before I met you. He was part of the pack before he passed away.
She sits up a little bit.
Have I never told you the story?
I don't know, but it's sounding kind of familiar now.
You know the name Ben?
Yeah, is that was Siegfried was the one that Ben, yeah,
Hmm.
Renshaw or something.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, that happened. God, just a few days after I ran into Callie. She was kind of freaking out.
It was hard on all of us. Mostly because, well, it was murder, not. It was a murder, not a casualty of combat. So there you go. It left a bad stink in all of our mouths.
As well it should. God. No,
You know,
I just didn't put two and two together there. I'm sorry.
mhm. No. It was ancient history now, at least. Um, Still need to get that matter resolved. Um, Ben was also one of the room raiders when he was still, walking around.
Okay. Well, that's a way to. Right. Sorry, just kind of keep imagining how shitty that must have been. I only heard it from the outside. Yeah, I think that was probably at least a few days or a week before I met you. And
I
that
don't
was
even
all.
remember.
That was all
I don't
five.
even.
Go ahead.
I have no idea where I was at that time or where you were.
But when we first met,
Yeah.
it was in the sept. I think you were part of all those people that I didn't know, and I just sort of sat there uncomfortably. Callie, it meant Callie introduced me to everybody, and that's pretty much it. Which is why I didn't remember your name when I ran into you again.
Yeah. Seems like. Yeah, it definitely seems like ancient history, and that is still something that we need to resolve.
Well, then it should be resolved. Sounds like they moved faster on the patina thing than they did on that.
The Tina thing, they had to move on rather quickly, or at least it was much easier to, simply because it only involved one tribe. With the Bin thing, it involved two tribes, the Wendigos and the Get. So they had to move rather slower, and we were still in a state of battle preparedness going after the Storm Eater, so we again had to delay it until after the battle.
Fair enough. That actually makes sense. I mean, there are quite a few things that I think people were putting off till after just because you don't want to distract yourself from the problem at hand.
This is true. I do not give people enough credit for thinking like that. Okay, I'd rather have most things resolved and settled before I die.
Well, you didn't die. At least in this version. Actually, you never do die. You're like a roach. You never die.
Not roaches again.
Well, they do seem to be everywhere. Even in my journal of that one day, there's a cockroach band or something going on in there. I don't know. It was pretty weird.
You'll notice that one of the laptops actually has a screensaver of just one little roach that seems to travel across the scene. up and down, left and right.
That would be very creepy in its own really weird way.
Yep. I forget what I was talking about.
Cockroaches.
Fair enough, cockroaches. Yep, I need to go talk to Emmett.
Okay. Then you should talk to Emmett. I can leave you alone, you know. You can hang out with your internet girlfriend. It'll be good.
How do you know? How do you know about Emily?
She sent me an email of yours earlier today.
No.
The worst one is really, though, is from the internet boyfriend. I don't know how you keep him from her.
Well, it's easy. You just go ahead and switch up your avatar and switch up your email address, and nobody's the wiser.
Oh, the old multi-email address trick.
Well, that's the thing. Dragos can tell you. Nobody knows that you're a dog over the internet.
I thought it was cat.
Or cat. Or wolf. Or whatever.
Well, the difference is that you're a wolf that can type.
True enough.
Cats pretty much just paw at things and make unintelligible words. Or have pictures up that say, Ken has cheeseburger?
Well, I would love cheeseburger. Actually, right now, let's see. Alan goes back to his computer for a second. Awesome. I think we're going to get that contract now.
Okay, what do cheeseburgers have to do with contracts?
Nothing. Well, something. I was kind of hoping that we would be able to extend the constructions crew operations to maybe something more more heavily city maintenance, something like underground structures. And from what I'm hearing right now, seems like we might be able to do that sooner rather than later, which means the underground isn't going to remain such a mystery for me anymore.
Why? Do you have this need to know how to get away from the city like Batman if, you know?
Of course. I want to set up my own Batcave.
Actually, it sounds more like you're feeding your paranoia so that if all hell breaks loose, you can just drop into the sewers and run.
Of course. Dear Lord, there are freaking air raid shelters underneath New York.
Well, as long as you put a nice air freshener in there, I think I'll be okay, and we'll just, you know, I'll follow you unless you're too paranoid for me to follow you.
No. I got to make sure that the line of Garu continues.
Oh, right. So we're going to become Adam and Eve. This is brilliant. Garu, Adam, and Eve. I'm afraid I might not have enough pure breed for that to work well for you. I mean, I'm not Senna, who I keep hearing everything about all the pure breed.
That one will get attention simply for that fact.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, her general attitude and her personality. Recipe for destruction.
But I'm not. Not enough pure breed. I'm not that important. And yes, there might be a right or wrong answer here.
You're important to me.
Aw, that almost worked.
What, didn't? Damn it. Quite honestly, it doesn't really matter. It wasn't your... It wasn't how you smelled, it was how you looked.
Oh, that makes it much better.
What can I say? It's just your hair dye. I was just like mesmerized. I was like a bumblebee attracted to a flower, really really bright flower.
I suppose if I'm going to be compared to anything, a flower's not the worst thing. They're a little fragile, but they are pretty. Oh God. God damn it! I'm not a flower anymore. She looks down at her bracelet. Not a flower.
Fine, you're not a flower. You're a Venus flytrap.
Damn Skippy. Eat those motherfuckers. They will be my nutrition.
Go ahead, so eat some motherfuckers.
I don't know what exactly I'm eating, but apparently I'm eating something. In theory, I suppose it might be Garou. But I'm not sure they'd be very tasty, really. It might be kind of gamey.
Depends. Oh, it always depends.
Bonars equal gamey. I should probably not continue this conversation.
Probably not. See, I would not have any problem continuing the conversation, but many others would find it irksome.
Fine. At some point when we're in private, we will continue this conversation, and it will get really creepy.
Hilariously creepy.
And to think of all the other things we could be discussing, but no, we're going to discuss that.
Hey, last night I got through like an entire marathon of Saw, so it's not much you can do for me right now.
Bleh. I'm also into that movie, or that movie series.
Hey, it was on. It was streaming. Zeke connected me. So I was like, well, I'm gonna be watching this for now.
And that was supposed to make your situation better?
I don't know.
Scare you so that now you have multiple fears instead of just one?
I think it was mostly just a litmus test to see if I was actually good or not. Good news! I only vomited once.
I'm sure you've seen worse than those movies.
It's true.
And to be
But that
fair,
was...
so have I, but...
I told you I've been mostly cleanup detail, right?
Yeah. Sorry about that, by the way.
No problem. Done it like a billion trillion times before. There's always a debrief. There's always cleaning up the blood.
Yeah, but you seemed really, really, really irritated by it at the time. Like, you just didn't want to be brought back to that again.
Well, not with you.
Well, I wasn't a very pretty flower then, was I?
No, you were tough as nails, man swallower.
Man swallower?
Man swallower. It's pretty much think of the Venus flytrap, but on steroids.
Well, I was definitely a bit tougher in that than I was in other situations, but that's only because the other situations kind of made me go, this isn't as bad as some of the other situations I've been in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It wasn't by choice, that's all I'm going to say. I mean, I chose to go in and I chose not to leave, but I did. didn't really choose to get covered in all that goo.
And that's fine, so long as you committed yourself and didn't leave until everybody else was safe as well.
Well, of course I didn't.
Hmm.
You know that, remember? I told you that. He told me to leave. He told me I should go outside and sit with Vale. And I wouldn't leave. See? I'm right. I am so right. That I think I think kinfolk know how to behave better than that.
God
She's got
damn
to.
it. Go ahead.
No. I'm not going to call him any names right now. I'm not talking about Xavier. I'm talking about the guy who fucked over Xavier.
God damn it, Xavier. Even he knew it. Like, you have no idea how proud I am of that goddamn cub.
Well, then you should have been proud of me. Because I didn't leave either. I was told to leave and I wouldn't leave.
To be fair, I didn't raise you.
No, it's a little different relationship.
Inequalities are
She looks like she wants to say something, but she's not.
raise his eyebrow.
Just kind of smiles at him.
No, any characteristics or personality traits that you got came from your family and whoever raised you. And in some part, I can't take credit for everything Xavier is. I still feel proud.
You're allowed to be. You should still be proud of me anyway, though. You don't have to take credit for it. You can just be proud. But fine, don't.
You think I don't give you much credit for the things you do?
I think you help me out when all this shit's gone down. It's not so much whether you give me credit. It's more that you seem to see all the bad parts at the end. So you don't really say it. Really? Just stare and blink?
It's a move that I have learned over the decades tends to work.
Do you really think it works on me by now? I mean, what? It's been, what, a month? Ish? Do you really think that works on me? No, there are other moves that work better.
Fair enough. I apologize. I'm sorry, I do not see the most wonderful things about you as quickly as I let my own frustration get a hold of me.
No, I wasn't really looking for you to. I was actually I was half kidding. I mean, like, maybe you don't say that stuff immediately, but at the same time, you have to deal with your own things. So when you're seeing me like I seem to end up being at the end of these things, I can see why you might react the way you do. It's true. I mean, I mean, let's just have enough experience with some of that mindset, whether it's from my family members or from that wonderful orb, to kind of get at least some of it.
Leave no man behind?
Leave no man behind, or woman for that matter.
Leave no soldier behind.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're just dragging a corpse.
Fair enough.
It's really weird, really awkward. Right before the Storm Eater fight, I was going ahead and giving people these little tiny Merlin totems. They asked me, "What did these do? What did these do?" Because they've been given talents, they've been given fetishes, they've been given weapons that do all these wonderful things. And when they asked me, "What do these do?" I simply said, "It's to identify our bodies if we fall." I'm not a good Galliard.
I disagree. It was still a story, it just wasn't a story they wanted to hear. And it was much shorter than your usual.
Concise stories are sometimes much more powerful.
Well, there was a chance that everything could have gone to hell that day, so there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that fact, as long as that's not your goal.
I had some of the Adrians go ahead and bash me over the head, telling me that I was demoralizing the troops. Shrug. I told the truth.
Well, there is something to that. I hear some people maybe weren't being quite so truthful at that point.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Like who?
Well, Xavier told me that was his impression of something Travis said at one point.
About what? There's like
Some
loads of different things that he was involved with
some
before the
sort of
Storm Eater.
some sort of pep talk.
I heard the pet talk.
Xavier
Right
said
words, wrong energy.
I just know Xavier's take on it.
What was his take?
Travis didn't believe his words.
Yeah, maybe that's why he was so frustrated that nobody else was giving the passion and the morale to the troops, because he wasn't able to.
Well, even if he didn't believe it, he tried. That's something, right?
Mm. He doesn't have the natural gusto. He's one that will go in first and leave last and make sure that people get back as quickly as possible, but the ability to inspire, he inspires more with his actions than with his words.
His words seem to be a whole lot of "for him."
Yep. That's what I got through the pack link. That's in fact everything I got through the pack link during that battle. And then there was just the rage and the fury. I was like, well, lost them.
Y'all came out okay, though. At least it may have taken a while, but in the end, you still have cockroaches in the house. You still have a pile of trash. You're sleeping outside. At least you were. And you have an angry Zeke, which is better than the Zeke that was.
Yeah, I'm very glad that he's at least up and walking now.
It is rather impressive that you didn't lose anybody.
Yeah, I can't say for the rest of the battle. I can only speak for my own part and what I saw. And that is what I reported.
Well, as you said, it's truth. So, are you done with all your business that requires an internet cafe?
You pretty much. I like these numbers.
Hmm.
But you want to get gone, go somewhere else?
Hmm. I don't do very well staying in one place at a time for very long anymore.
Oh, anything specifically?
Just same old. It'll get better. It is getting better.
You're gonna let me go ahead and dig deeper into that issue, or are we just gonna go?
You can dig all you want, but I've said everything that there is to be said. So there's no point.
Fair enough. I can continue to pretend typing on this thing if you really need me to.
Pretend typing?
Goes ahead and starts to move the laptop over, and on the side is just one notepad with one line written over and over and over again. I'm pretending to type.
You must have been pretty bored with this conversation to do that.
I was practicing my skills. I'm not that awesome of a typist yet, but I'm learning. Didn't you have like typing lessons when you were still in education, like high school?
I mean, yeah, I took a typing class, I took computer classes. Sure, everybody does.
Yeah. Well, I've had to self-teach myself all this wonderful nonsense. Look, I'm jealous of Zeke. Okay, he types like a freaking madman.
Educate yourself. You're not bothering me. Maybe someday you'll get a phone that doesn't look like it belongs in the 90s.
Ah, shots fired.
In slow motion.
Dramatically falls out of his seat onto the ground. Boom. Man down. Man
Stand up.
down.
Stand up and just kind of kick him. Like, not hard, just kind of like,
Ow. I'll go ahead and get back up.
that'll go with the bruise on your forehead.
Why do we hurt the ones we love?
Maybe because the ones you love weren't distracted enough not to.
I gotta work better on that. Hold on a second. Alan's gonna go ahead and get his laptop, put it back in his carrying case. Zip. Sling it over his shoulder. Right, where to?
I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of feeling like you and wanting to wander.
We can wander. There's always places at the park that we haven't seen or wandered yet, but we might meet some people that we know. Could go over to Long Island, wander around those parks. They're mostly uncharted territory. Nobody goes there quite yet.
Then we should be first.
Yes, first.
So we can claim it for us.
For us.
Or for me. I don't need you.
Hmm.
Well, I suppose you can carry my stuff, so that'll work.
Okay, fine. I'll go ahead and set you up in your nice little palace, and when the barbarians come through, I'll watch as they pillage the entirety of it.
And then I'll be left standing there because all they did was take the palace. And you'll be like, now will you come with me?
Pretty much.
Damn it, there has to be a lesson in every fucking story.
Well, sometimes people just make up the lessons on their own, and it makes my life a lot easier.
This is what happens when you're Galliard. Now I understand. Just let the stories form around you.
Pretty much. It's much easier that way.
Well, I will look up parks or something, and we'll find a place to go to and wander about randomly.
Eh. Alan's gonna go ahead, and after he's got his laptop secured across his shoulder, gonna go ahead and sneak his hand into Leah's. Let's go.
Yeah, she'll squeeze his hand and just exit. Yes.
Magic stage left. We end our scene as such. As well, if I was to describe this, I would describe it as a screenplay that was written over the weekend while drinking. That is how I would describe the scene.
Yeah, pretty much. Random, rambly scene.
Night, everybody.